It's Patty Davis with Crooked Tree Creations. I want to show you how I made this adorable cat wreath for the first time ever, so this is all trial and error. Stick around until the end and I'll show you how I painted the eyes. Okay, so for this cat wreath, I am going to use a 14-inch form from the Dollar Tree. Okay, and I am going to use some plastic canvas. This is the 5 mesh, not the 7 mesh. The 5 mesh have bigger holes. So with a Sharpie, I'm going to trace out the inside ring of the form, then cut it out and attach it using 4-inch zip ties. So I got that cut out and tied on. So I kind of moved this back and forth, okay? And I positioned the plastic canvas so that the grid of the plastic canvas would go straight across from one crossbar to the other, okay? So I know that is going to be the center of the wreath at that point, okay? Then I use my cutting mat and find the center going up and down. So now we have a center point there. Then I just decided where I wanted my eyes and my nose. So I just took these wooden forms. Okay, these are wooden rounds that I got from I got these wooden rounds from Walmart. And I'll show you, this is the pack it came in. There's 6 pieces in a pack. They're 3 inches. I just positioned where I want those, and I figure, yeah, it's just slightly down from the center line going across. And then I figure the nose should be just about here, okay? Because I figure, okay, the bottom of the eyes to where I want the nose to be. And that's going to be where the top of the nose is going to be, okay? So I think that should work. Again, this is the first time I'm making this, so I don't know if this is going to work or not. You're seeing this firsthand. So, and then now we're going to start cutting the mesh, and I will show you how I do that here in just a sec. Okay, so to cut the mesh, all I'm doing, I'm just going to use a rotary cutter, cut it at 5 inches. Yes, this is a 10-inch, this is a 10-inch roll of poly burlap. I am cutting it at 5 inches, okay? I'll just show you that right here, okay? And what I like to do, I like to cut a couple of them. Okay, and then I'll position those two together. Okay, and cut those at 5 inches. It just cuts down the cutting time. Okay, so then we have, right there is 4 5x5 pieces of poly burlap. Okay, so I have my wood burning tool. You can see it's been used an awful lot. I have the chisel tip, okay, and what I'm going to do, you can see I have my finished edge here on the left. I'm going to put it on the bottom left. I'm going to bring this down. Okay, I don't want this to go over that finished edge, so just kind of bring it just underneath it, okay? And then straighten it out over here. Okay. Now I know there's frays and everything like that. We're not going to worry about that right now because we're going to shave all that off. So I'm going to take the wood burning tool and kind of right where the one edge comes over, that kind of, we're going to cut those. Okay, and when we cut that, see how it fused together. That way it just kind of, it'll stay together. It'll make it a lot more simple. Okay, so I'm going to do these two different ways. Do we have to? No, but I'm just going to see if it works, see if it does what I want it to do. So I'm going to do it that way here. So we're going to have that finished edge right there on the left. So I'm going to do this again. Okay, and remember I had this on the bottom left. I'm going to do it on the top left and bring this up. Okay, and then I'm going to go from this side down. Again, fusing the two sides together. Okay. Now see how that was coming out. I think I'm just going to use this wood burning tool just to kind of take that little fray off of there. Okay, and again, so we have that fused together on that one side. Okay, so we have the finished edge on the top right here, finished edge on the top left over there. So to make my petal, I'm going to use, well, these are actually 5-inch zip ties. I thought I had some 4-inch here somewhere, but I don't know where they are. So I got these 5-inch. I'm using black just in case any of these zip ties accidentally show, they're going to be black, so they're not going to show that much. Okay. I'm just going to kind of scrunch that there in the middle. Do one scrunch here, one scrunch here. And then zip tie that together. Okay, and then kind of fluff that out. There you go. And there's one petal. And then I'll go ahead and do this one. Again, just scrunch it in the middle. Do one scrunch on either side. And zip tie it. And yes, you can use a rubber band if you'd rather do that. I just have these zip ties, so that's what I'm using. Okay. And you can see I have this one has the finished edge there on the left. This one has the finished edge there on the right. Again, I don't know if I'm going to definitely use them, worry about the finished edge or not, because you really can't see it that much. But just in case you can, that's the reason I'm doing this. So, okay, and let's get started putting everything on the form. This is what I'm kind of excited about. Okay, let's get started. Okay. So I have 8-inch zip ties I got from Amazon. I will leave the link here. And I'm going to start putting the cat's chin. I'm going to use this third ring from the outside. Okay. Let's go ahead and kind of get this started. Just put in here and snap that off. Now I'm using the ones that have the finished edge on the left side here. Again, I don't know if this is really going to matter because you don't see it that much, but I'm still going to try it that way. Okay. And then I'm going to put 2 in coming from the right. I'm going to try to do this with the, the finished edge on the right side. Again, is it going to matter? I don't know. Okay, and if you see any frays as this is going along, just cut them off. Again, you're never going to stop the frays completely, but using that wood burning tool definitely does slow it down. Okay, so there's that so far. I'm going to cut this fray off here too. Okay, so what I'm thinking I want to keep going around the outside, but I kind of want the mouth to do something a little bit different. And I know it's going to look very odd, but trust me on this, it'll be fun. So I want you to notice what I'm doing as I'm putting these on. When you zip tie these on, okay, you can put them in this way, or you can turn the zip tie this way and have them, the petals will face more upward, okay? Right now I want anything that is on here kind of facing downwards. So this side I have going this way, and this side this way. So it just, when we are doing this, it just kind of has that effect of going downwards. If you want this to be sticking straight out, see how this goes this way? Have another zip tie going this way. Crisscross it, and it'll stick straight out. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep going and do this, go all the way around on this third row, and I am doing 5 in each section. So I have the whole outside done. On this top part, instead of putting 5 in this section, I actually have 7. I have 2 heading down this way, 2 heading this way, and the 3 in the middle, I did that crisscross of the zip ties. I don't know if you can see, I have them crisscrossed this way. So they were sticking, so they'll stick straight up, okay? And then everything else is kind of downwards. Now the ears are gonna go over here. I'm going to worry about that pretty much after everything else is done. I might do them before I put the eyes on, I'm not sure. But, and then the whisker is going to be the last. But, so this is where we are so far. So now I'm going to go and put some right on the inside of this 4th ring, okay, the inner ring, and I'm going to use the plastic canvas, but this time I am going to go completely out, Okay, I'm not going to try to face it downwards or anything like that. We're going to go straight out from that center, or from that inner ring. Okay, so, and what you do there, okay, I'm going to go kind of in between these. Kind of just go in one hole of the plastic canvas, skip a hole, and then come back out. Okay, and then just put one in, and there you go. Okay, and it really doesn't matter where you put it. I'm going to kind of gauge where I'm going. It's probably only going to be about maybe 4 per section at this point, so I will still try to like pay attention to my sections and see how many I'm going to put in at that point. Okay, so I will see you back here after that's done. Okay, so I have this here. I got the second row done. What I am going to do though, even though there's just a little bit of space right there, I'm going to put one more petal right here. I'm going to try to keep these somewhat on the same level as these here, but I want to hide these zip ties. That's kind of why I want someone like another, that's why I want another petal in the middle. Okay, so this is what I'm going to attempt to try here. I'm going to go from side to side, kind of right here in between this last row. Okay. Let's see if this works like I'm hoping it will. Okay. Now this is where I do want the finished side to be like at the bottom. Okay. I'm going to go down just a little bit, just again, so I'm kind of in between these guys. Right here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to kind of go right in between there. It's gonna be a little awkward. But try to make sure this kind of goes down enough where it covers a little bit there. I'm going to go one more. And it's not going to be like very far over, just kind of right to the top of where this last petal that I just did. Oops. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing from this side over. And let's see if this works. I hope it does. So yeah, this is going to be very awkward right here. But I'm going to try to get one more down in here. Okay, I got that there. And I'm going to have to look from the bottom to see where I could skip a hole and come back out. But I'm going to have to, oh boy. Okay. Yeah, I'm like all the way over here. That's not going to work. Okay. I'm going to come out like right underneath this one here. Okay. So I'm going to be like right there. But I want to make sure I get this covered. Okay. But you know what? I want that to be underneath this guy. Okay, yeah, this is just an experiment, so we're at the experiment stage. Okay. Now I want to do one more. I'm going to put it right over here and crisscross these in the center. So it's going to have to go up just a little bit from where this one is, but not much. But this is going to hide the zip ties of this one. And I don't know if you can tell what I'm trying to do. The reason I'm going this way, it's going to be the mouth of the cat. Okay, so I'm going to do one more going from the outside in. And let's see if this works. Okay, so we're at this point. We have a little bit of this mouth here. Okay, so I want to go a little bit more from side to side here. So I'm going to keep going that way. And yes, I'm kind of going into where my eyes are, because you know we want to cover up. You know, we want the wooden round of the eye to cover some of this. So yeah, we have to go into the eye somewhat. Okay, I'm only going to go one more over, and I'm going to go from right to left. No more crisscrossing. Okay, so now we're going to go around the eyes, kind of around the top of the head. Okay. And basically our goal is to make sure we just hide the zip ties from the petals that were on in the row in front of us. That's just basically our main goal. So now I just want to keep kind of coming down the bridge of the nose right here. Again, we are in the eye, but the round is going to actually hide the zip tie. So we got to make sure the zip tie is all the way in there. So now I'm going to work on the ears, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut out some 10 by 10 pieces, and I'm going to do 2 of the black. Okay, now I'm going to do 1 gray. Is this going to be worth it if, buying an entire roll of gray just for 1 piece? That's up to you. But I already had gray on hand, so I'm just going to do another. So I'm going to use this gray. Okay. And then I'm also going to do pink. This is a light pink. Same situation. Don't know if it's worth it to buy an entire roll just for 1 thing of pink, but if you're going to be doing other projects, you probably already have pink on hand. So I just grabbed this pink just to give it a little bit of color. Okay. Now both the pink and the gray I'm going to cut in half. To make the ears, I'm going to bring this corner down. I'm going to have this just underneath that finished edge. We don't want it coming all the way up, just like we did before. Okay. So I'm going to be cutting on this part. What I'm going to do, and I know you think I'm crazy. I think I'm crazy. But what I want to do is kind of put this underneath. Okay. And try to match this finished edge of the gray up with the finished edge of the black the best I can. I'm going to take my wood burning tool, kind of just burn that corner off. Then I'm going to right along that edge. It's going to go through both the black and that layer behind it and the gray. Okay. And then this right here, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of go along that bottom there. And maybe like right here in the middle, kind of do a little divot, and maybe right over here, kind of right in those little spots. It kind of got that to meld together. It's kind of fused together now. That gray is kind of fused on to the black while I was fusing the two black sides together, right? So I'm going to do that again. The only thing is we are going to try to do that opposite. And I know it's going to be hard with that flipping up, so we're going to have it this way, okay? So, let's see, we had, I'm going to take this up this time. Okay, and we have, this is going to be on the upper left. Bring this up. And in order to have the finished side, we're going to have, did I say too many halves? We're going to have this curling in instead of out. Okay. And it'll work out just fine. Okay. So again, we want to make sure this is down from there. That is also down from there. Okay. We want this sticking out further so that yeah, it's kind of awkward. Okay, and I must not have cut those exactly the same angle, but when I was cutting down the middle, but you got the gist of it. So what I'm going to do, okay, I got that. So this is pretty much lined up. So I'm going to go ahead and start and let it go through both the black and the gray and fuse it all together. And then just kind of cut that corner off. Okay, so it's all fused together. And then what I can cut off the bottom, it's not going to be as much because, yeah, I didn't do a very good job of cutting it whenever I was cutting the diagonal. But kind of cut that off a little bit. Kind of do a little divot right there. And another divot right here. Kind of to get those to fuse together a little bit. Not much, it doesn't really have to, but it kind of helps. Okay, so there we have 2 ears. Okay, now for the pink. Okay, what I want to do, I think, because we have the finished side over here, we have the black finished side here, I'm going to just kind of bring this pink in, just barely. I want to make sure we see the gray, but I want this pink in there. So I think what I'm going to do right here, I mean, we got what? That's probably a good 2 inches is where I'm going to put this pink from that corner to this corner. Go ahead and cut that as close to the edge. We're really not going to worry about fusing the bottom here. Although we probably could fuse that bottom. You want to try it? Let's try fusing all of this together. but nobody's really going to see this bottom part, so I'm not too worried of what that looks like. Okay, it is kind of fused on there, so that will help kind of hold it in place. With what I want to do with it. Okay, yeah, I'm learning as I'm showing you how I'm doing this, so yeah, just bear with me. Okay, so we're going to do this again with the other pink. Okay, so I'm going to do it this way now. Okay, from that edge to this edge, we're going to go about 2 inches. Okay. So instead of, I'm going to go ahead and just try to fuse it all together right now. And let's see how if this one works. It's not going to be pretty. It'll just be functional for us, that's all. So, for the ears, the fused side is going to be towards the center of our wreath, okay? So this fused side is going to go on the right, and the one with the fused side, that's going to be on the top, like over here on the left, okay? So let me show you what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do first, I'm going to take this, kind of give it a curve where it's kind of coming down here. And I'm going to go in, let's see, that's just a little over 2 inches. Then I'm going to take a zip tie, kind of get it in there, and it came through out the bottom. And then I'm right here where it kind of, where we have that corner, I'm going to stick that in the back here, right here at the crossbar, okay? I'm going to do it from the front. Oh, okay. We don't want it going behind. We want it going in front of the wire because it's going to go the second bar on that crossbar. Okay. Now we're going to tighten that down. Okay, so this side, I'm also going to curve that in. Do the same thing. Kind of get that to go down through. Now it's not going to go all the way to the crossbar. So we're just going to, right there on that second ring, and find that and pull that through. Okay. And then we're going to cut those zip ties. Okay, and there you go. You have an ear. So we're going to do that to this side. I'm going to do the first where it goes to the crossbar. I'm going to do that top part. Okay. Take a zip tie down in there. So it goes through both the front and all the way through to the back. And then it's going to go right here to that crossbar. Okay, so it's going above that fourth ring, that very first ring, I'm sorry. And then around the second ring and the crossbar. And yes, I'm getting some frays and everything like that, but all we got to do is cut those frays off. Okay, tighten that up. Kind of do the same thing with the bottom here. Kind of get that to curl a little bit. And just get it around that second ring. Okay, so I decided I'm going to try doing a couple different ways to do the nose. I got a triangle, kind of rounded out the edges and just painted it black. Tried to give it a little highlight, started on that, and then I'm like, you know what, that's going to be so flat. I don't know if I really want to do that. So I'm going to keep it just in case that's the way I'm going to do it. But I'm going to take another triangle and I'm going to put some foam on it. And just to kind of give it a little bit of, depth, okay? So let's see if I can hot glue this to our foam. Because I know it's supposed to melt foam a little bit, but I think this'll work. It's not melting. Okay, and then I'm just going to cut around the edges, sand it down to kind of where I want it to be, and then cover it with felt. And we'll see how that works. Okay, so I will be right back. Okay, so I cut a piece of black felt a good inch wider than my my piece of triangle. Okay, I probably could have gone more. Probably should have done it a little bit wider than that. But what I'm going to do now is just kind of glue the sides onto the back and then kind of taper in the corners. Okay, so that's going to take a little bit of time and I'll show you what I've ended up with. Okay, and also what I did with this too, I tried to make little indentations of on the foam. This is going to be where my nostrils are. Okay, this triangle is like, they're 3 inches, 3 inches, and this is 3.5. So the one side is just a little bit longer. That's going to be the top. So I have the nostrils on either side here. Whether or not this is going to work, I don't know, but let's try it. Can't hurt, right? Okay, so this nose that I put the felt on, okay, I actually put some hot glue and some wire on here. And what I am doing, I took both like a dark pink and a light pink that I have. The dark pink was too dark, the light pink was too light, so I just mixed the two together. Okay, just dab it in here, kind of wipe as much of it off as you possibly can, and then just kind of dry brush that pink on here. So it's, you can barely see that pink, but it's there. Now I left like little spots here for the nostrils, so I want to make sure I don't get any pink where I have those nostrils. But I want to go all the way around those nostrils, kind of just get a little bit of that pink on there. It's still good and dark, right? But we got a little bit of that pink in there just to kind of give it a little bit of color and a little bit of contrast from all that black. I think I also might change, I might put a tongue in there. What do you think? We're gonna try a tongue. Okay. Okay, so I actually have a roll of dark pink on hand, so I'm gonna go ahead and do a 10 by 10 piece of that. So I'm trying to decide how I'm going to make this tongue. Let's kind of bring this down, kind of do that lollipop version, right? So it's kind of round. Okay. Let me get a little 4-inch zip tie. Tie that together. Snip that off. I'm going to cut this down. As much as I can. Get a nice little hair trim. Okay. Okay, so I had this piece right here. I really didn't care for where it was. To me, when it was sticking out, it looked like a black tongue, actually. I didn't like the placement of it. So that's why I decided I'm going to put a tongue in here. Okay, so yeah, I made that tongue. This one is about 3 inches long. Okay, it's up to you. You can make it a little bit bigger, longer, shorter, whatever you want to do. And all we're going to do is kind of same spot that we took the other piece out, we're going to put this one in. Okay. Okay, that looks much better. And I like having that little crevice right in there too. Kind of helps it look like a tongue, right? Okay. I also didn't like the eyes that I had done, so I am redoing the eyes and I'm going to show you how I painted them. So that's coming up. So I want to show you what I'm going to do for the eyes. First of all, these are wooden circles that I got from Walmart. They are slightly larger than 3 inches in diameter. There are 6 in a pack. I can't remember how much it cost, but it was fairly inexpensive. Okay, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to hot glue wire to the backs of these, just because I think it'll be a little bit easier for me to paint while I'm holding on to the wire. And this is going to be the wire that I'm going to use to attach the eyes to the wreath. Okay, so I'm just going to take some hot glue, glue them on, hold them there for a second, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so the hot glue is dried, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to paint. This is daffodil yellow. I'm just going to paint some yellow on both of these, the entire surface. And then I'll show you later on how I'm going to highlight kind of the outside of each eye. I'm going to do it with a green, which I think will be absolutely beautiful. You can use whatever colors you want, but most cats' eyes are either yellow or green. So I'm kind of going to use a little bit of both just to kind of give it a nice yellow-green color. And I'm going to go around the outside of this too, just so you don't see the wood on the outside of the wooden round. Okay, and then I'm going to do the other one now. Okay, so once these are dry, I'm going to do a second coat and go in the opposite direction of the way that I did it the first time. So I got this good and dry. I'm going to add just a little bit more yellow. Okay. And then I'm going to add this green. It's just a Hauser medium green is what I'm using. This is the Americana. This is the folk art. We really don't need a whole heck of a lot. Okay, so I'm going to use this brush again. Okay, what I want to do is dip. See how this is in an angle? The inner side I'm going to do in the yellow. Okay, and then the outer I'm going to do with the green. And then I'm going to swipe back and forth until it kind of blends nice. Okay, then I'm going to just go right along the outside. And just keep going around. So you got a nice outline in that green, but it's not like a harsh outline. It kind of blends in really nice together. So I was trying to figure out how I am going to do the pupil of the cat eye and make it so that they're going to be even on both eyes. So what I did, I just cut out on paper what I would like this to be. Actually, what I did, I folded the paper in half and then folded in half again and just cut this like at a curve, okay? And this ended up being, which we kind of want it to be, about 3 inches. This is just slightly, well, this is probably actually at 3 inches because this round is just a little bit bigger. And then, yeah, it's at 3 inches, and let's say just 1 1/4 inch wide at the widest spot. Okay, and so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to trace this out with a pencil, and that way I'll pretty much have the same size pupil on both eyes. Okay, so I will be right back after I'm done tracing, and then I'm going to go ahead and attempt to paint this with black. So I'm going to attempt the best that I can to do this pupil. This is called licorice, this black paint. Okay, this is also folk art. Of course, I just get whatever I can. I don't pay attention to brands and things like that because I'm really not a painter. So I'm just trying to have fun and see what I can, how close I can get to making this look good without having somebody else come in and do it for me. So I decided I'm going to put upper eyelids on these eyes. So for the highlights, I'm going to mix a bit of black and white to make a nice darker gray to paint in the center of the pupil. So using the skinny brush, I'm going to put a nice dollop at the top and then another smaller spot a little under that. Then I'm going to do the exact opposite on the other eye. Then I'm going to take most of the paint off the brush and do some lines on the yellow right outside of the pupil. But put the highlights wherever you think it'll look good. The highlights help to give the eyes some depth. Okay, so I got this stem wire from Joann Fabrics. Unfortunately, it doesn't say on here what gauge this is. So I'm not really sure. This is the thicker gauge wire. So I'm just going to kind of poke that through the top here. Okay, so what I'm going to do to make the whiskers here, I'm just going to kind of bend it kind of in the middle, okay? and turn it around to the back. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to figure out kind of where the nose is. So I'm going to put one about here, one about here. Okay. And yes, I want them to come through the poly burlap. Okay. Kind of like this, and then we're just gonna kind of curve that wire so it looks like a whisker. Okay, so I'm going to do that with one other one here. Okay, see where I want that. I'm going to turn that over. We'll be able to fix those again. And then just kind of curve it. And if you decide they're too long, this is wire. Just cut it with wire cutters. And that's it. So you can see these. Doesn't that look cute? If you want to add more, add more. I think right now, I think this actually looks pretty good. I'm going to leave it as is. So here is our finished cat wreath. I think this is absolutely adorable. Now, let's think about this. We don't have to do all black. We can do all white. We could do all gray. We could do a tabby. We can do a calico. I mean, think about it. You can do so many different colors going through here. You could do a white cat with a black patch. Wouldn't that be adorable? Absolutely. You can see I redid the eyes. The eyes through the video, through the latter part of the video, whenever I was doing the ears and stuff, you can see the eyes were a little bit different. So I hope that didn't confuse you too much, but I love these eyes. They look fantastic. Something you can do with these eyes, which I'm going to do here after I'm done, is this glow in the dark. I got this, this is Deco Art Americana. Okay, I got this at Joann Fabrics, and it is a clear paint that you can put over top of like lighter colors, and it will glow in the dark. At least that's what they're saying. So fingers crossed that it works, because I think that would be so cool, wouldn't it? Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think this is cute? Do you think there was something else I should have done? Let me know. I would love to get your opinions. And I have so many ideas of what I want to do for my next wreath. I just want to keep coming out with things that are a little bit different from the norm, because yeah, I don't like normal. My name is Patty Davis. I'm with Crooked Tree Creations, and I'll see you in our next video.